to any of you if you'd like to take a second box. We definitely have plenty and do not want to waste any of that food. So we've got plenty of stuff. While you are enjoying lunch, I have the privilege of just wanting to share some information with you about the Alzheimer's Association, which is the largest nonprofit organization dedicated to helping caregivers and basically ending Alzheimer's disease through funding of research studies. So I just want to tell you a little bit about some of our services, including several of the new things that we have added on in the last year or so. So the first thing that Mark, and by the way, if you all have not met Mark as of yet, Mark is with the South Texas Geriatric Education Center. He is our IT guru and just does a great job for us. So thank you, Mark. The first thing I'd like to do is to show you an updated facts and figures. Every year, the Alzheimer's Association puts together information on statistics and prevalence. And we actually can't use any of this, we can't put it in print until we get approval from all kinds of organizations. The National Institute on Health, the Centers for Disease Control. So every year we continue to watch these change. Unfortunately, we know that many of them are changing rapidly as far as prevalence of increase in numbers. So this...
Just click on the one you...
Click on it? Okay. So I want to show you this commercial.
You can make it
Just the
loud.
volume, in case it's too loud.
Okay, right there.
Okay.
It starts with something little.
Oh, walk.
Taking a first step, and then another, and another. And if you do it, and your friends do it, and their friends do it, soon we'll be walking our way to awareness, support, and an end to Alzheimer's disease. And that would be big.
Grab your friends and family and start a team today. Register at alz.org.
So sorry about that. That first one was obviously a commercial that has been running since I think through July, August, September nationally for our signature fundraiser. For years and years it was called Memory Walk. Now it's called Walk to End Alzheimer's. Nationwide, we went through a bit of a name change, and that name, Walk to End Alzheimer's, is really more of what it's all about. So that was our national commercial. This is facts and figures. Thank you.
Excuse me, dear.
Yes.
You're talking about in today's paper,
Yes.
the Corpus Christi Times, in the editorial page, there's a great article, and it talks about this ending Alzheimer's, and it's going to be tomorrow at this botanical garden.
Okay.
And then it mentions some really good statistics here.
I'm so glad that you have that. That is our nonprofit organization's walk tomorrow. So that's why you each have a card in your program, in your folder. And one thing about our walk is we don't have a minimum registration. We don't have anything like that. We'd love for you to come out, whether you donate $1 or $5 or more. There's no minimum. So everyone is welcome to come. We want everyone to come out. Because it is our fundraiser, we set a goal. And the goal is that if you raise $100, so we talk about that's asking 10 friends for $10, what you receive is a Walk to End Alzheimer's t-shirt. And this year, the design and I guess the motto this year is, why do you walk? Or who do you walk for? Who are you walking for to end Alzheimer's? So that's why those of us who have raised our money, we're wearing our t-shirts today a little bit early. It has all the corporate underwriters and sponsors on the back that support our organization. And then on the front, it's actually a picture and you personalize the shirt. So I'm walking to end Alzheimer's for my mom. And so thank you very much for bringing that up. I'm sure Meg will probably, our director, she'll probably talk more about it later today. But of course, we would love to invite everyone to come, and it is at the Botanical Gardens. It's so beautiful out there. If you happen to live here and have never been. It's gorgeous, so we're excited. So let me go through facts and figures. As Dr. Lozano was saying, right now, we know there's not a cure, but there are so many things that you can do. And I will most definitely say that now that I am walking this walk with my own parents, I feel like I'm pretty much using almost all of the services of the organization that I work for regularly. So let me just go through some of these. I know you are getting loaded with information, but I just want to make sure you have this information. In your folders today, we only put one brochure, and it says Basics of Alzheimer's Disease. It is, every time I read it, I feel like I learned something new. The most important thing is if you flip it over on the back, it has our 800 number. That's our helpline. It's 24/7 on 365 days a year. That means no matter where you live, no matter if it's midnight, or it's 3 o'clock in the morning, or it's Christmas Day, or it's a Sunday morning, if you have a phone, you can reach a staff member of the Alzheimer's Association. You can ask questions, you can get resources, you can just talk. If you just feel like you need to talk and you need someone to listen who understands what you're going through, our helpline it's really, really, really helpful. And I can tell you that being a staff member, I don't have all the answers, not whatsoever. So when I get asked a question, if I don't know, I call the helpline. I just call and say, you know, we have a question, can you look this up for us? Because our national office, which is located in Chicago, they can find all kinds of things that we may not have. So that 800 number, again, it's nationwide. If you have a sister off in Portland who needs some support, same phone number, 24/7. You can share that number and always be available to have someone to talk to. Website. We have 2 websites. We have a national, on the back of that brochure is alz.org. That's our national website. Holy cow, it is full. It is a comprehensive website with tabs that are full of information. It has information if you're a caregiver, if you're a professional caregiver, if you want to do some advocacy. It has a lot of information. And then we have our chapter website, which you can get to by going to the national. And our chapter website is more localized. It has information about upcoming classes and things that we're doing chapter-wide. So alz.org. Safety services. Safety is one of the biggest issues, as you all know, for someone with Alzheimer's disease or related dementia. There's a 70% chance that someone with Alzheimer's disease will wander. And it's so serious. We get information in our office about individuals who have gotten in their car and gotten lost, or have walked out of their home and gotten lost. It's a very serious issue. So we have safety services that we provide to help families who are very concerned about it. I can say right now one of our biggest issues is driving. It is a concern. My mom has already hit my car with her car, and so I am having to try to use some of the things that I have learned through our safety services on how to have these difficult conversations with her about it's no longer safe for her to drive. But because of the dementia, she doesn't know that she doesn't know how to do some things anymore. So we have online on the website, there are some videos. They're short, but they show examples of families having conversations with their loved ones so that it doesn't have to turn into a huge battle, but it includes tips on how to have these really difficult conversations. And I'm fortunate. I drive every day. I can't imagine someone telling me that I couldn't drive. It's a huge issue. So we have information on wandering. How many of you have heard of Medic-Alert? Most people have heard of Medic-Alert. Well, then I ask, how many people have heard of the Alzheimer's Association Safe Return Program? Not very many. Well, one, thank you. So what happened was a couple of years ago, our nationwide program to help with wandering actually merged with Medic-Alert. So we have a program now called Medic-Alert Safe Return. And it's basically where you register your loved one. They wear identification. It cannot be removed. And it's always there in the event that something were to happen. And we have helpline. We have people who call into our office and they'll say, you know, my loved one, I found them, they've been down the street, they go to the store, they can't find their way back. Story after story, and then we will encourage them to get registered into this program, and they'll say, no, we're not ready for that yet. Well, in our opinion, it only takes one time to get lost and have it really turn serious or deadly. So, highly, highly recommend that program. That is one of two things that I can think of that there's actually a fee for something that's offered because it's Medic-Alert, and to get registered into a 24/7 manned program where they take emergency calls, middle of the night calls. It's an emergency response system. So there's a fee. Yes, ma'am.
I know here in the city locally, there's a program for the sheriff's department for anyone that has Alzheimer's dementia as well. It's a new program that they're trying to kick off as well.
Wonderful. So I would imagine your TRIP Area Agency on Aging, some of the other organizations will know about it. Yes, ma'am.
We go to the Alzheimer's website to sign up for the Medic-Alert.
We've actually got brochures, and when you open it, it says you can do it by phone. If you need to get it done right now today, which some people say, okay, we can't wait any longer. Or you can do it on the website. You can mail in the form. You have to have a measurement of the individual's wrist so they can get the right size. You have to have a photo of the person so that if anything happens, a photo of their face will go out. So there's a couple of steps, but it can be done. We can help you with it today.
But you take that off when you go in the shower, right?
Doesn't come off. Doesn't come off. It actually goes on the dominant hand, and it's just, you just can't get it off. It's just one of those things that remains a permanent identification for safety.
Jenny,
Yes.
Jenny, if I may add, our agency will pay for the initial fee. If families need, yes, that service, we will pay for the initial fee of the bracelet if they can't afford it.
Wonderful. So if there is a resource issue related to getting signed up on medical or safe return, the Area Agency on Aging will actually cover that cost. There is annually, I think it's $35 to renew it one time annually. That's not something, but the initial cost, it's either 50 or 60.
55.
55, I was close, right in between. If that is an issue, they will cover that. So Philippa is an invaluable resource to know about what they can do through the AAA. Support groups. Support groups are something that I think people hear and they go, well, I'm not sure that I want to go, sit in a circle and talk to strangers, but I can just say for myself that to be able to have a conversation with someone who's going through this, who understands when I talk about, I just get so frustrated, I don't handle things very well with my mom, even though I know and have learned so much from Dr. Lozano. I know from my organization things to do and what not to do, but sometimes I get so mad and then I feel incredibly guilty. To be able to talk about that with someone who understands, I think it's extremely helpful. So to be able to go to a support group that's offered in your community and talk with someone who understands, it can be very, very helpful. And so support groups, all's connected. Okay, so everyone's familiar with the whole thing of Facebook, right? Well, we don't have a Facebook thing, but we have a thing called All's Connected. And it is an online type of social networking for people who have Alzheimer's disease, who want to be able to connect with other people. And so we have that available. It's a free service. We've got information out on our table about it. It's called All's Connected. And it's a way for people to talk, to get connected socially, or just to, for support of one another, whether you're in Tennessee or Texas or any other state. We have a thing now called Navigator. And Navigator is something that I have not yet done personally, but it is on my list to do. I need to do it for myself and for my mom. It's basically an online assessment program where you put in information about your loved one, what you're going through, and it creates customized, like an action plan, so that it talks about, have I done the legal things that are needed to be able to help as things progress? It also works together with a program called Community Resource Finder, which is a national search engine. And although we keep information about local resources all across our chapter, Community Resource Finder isn't even, it's a database, and so it helps find resources even that we may not have. So that's very helpful. Brochures and materials. If you want one of something, if you want 50 of something, just let us know. The brochures that we have, I know, it takes a minute to sit down and read them, but they are full of tips. That basics, I can read that one over and over and always learn something new. But we have them on legal issues and what you need to be thinking about, on money issues, on activities. My loved one will not do anything. Well, let's look at a list of different activities and see what things we might be able to try. Personal care. How do you get someone to bathe that refuses to for a week because they insist that they have, but you know that they haven't? All those kind of things we have caregiver tips on, and we have it in written material, and we mail packets out of our office every day. We email, snail mail, however we can get it to you. And we also have the AAA, which is housing basically a library of our materials at their office. So they have, and I promise you, whatever is left over from today, we're going to leave it so that they'll have more of our brochures. Okay, workshops. We do this one once a year, just once a year. But educational workshops we have that we can do ongoing. We have those available. They cover topics from basics of Alzheimer's, knowing the 10 warning signs, how important it is to really recognize them. We have topics on living with Alzheimer's. We have a whole series, living with Alzheimer's. So the first slide is early stages. And then the next set of presentations is the middle stages. And then late stages, end stages. So we have that whole series. We have e-learning courses online that are free. Anyone can take them. You know, if we can't get one done and you want one done for your office or for your family, we have e-courses and they're free. You can go online and take them. At our national office, we also have a thing called the Greenfield Library. It's the largest library. It's huge. And again, they'll look up stuff for us. They also give us, you know, the best books that are available to read, the best articles, the newest information, different journals. It's a huge library. And so our libraries are kind of tiny in comparison to what they have, but you can get information from the Greenfield Library. Okay, I got to talk about research because as the video showed, as Alzheimer's is the 6th leading cause of death, and if I showed you a list of the top 10, it's the only disease of the top 10 killers that does not have treatment, medical treatment to stop it, don't have a cure, don't have a way to prevent. All the other top 10 killers do. The only way that we are going to get to that point is through research, and research means clinical trials. And clinical trials, I always kind of make a joke, there are only so many mice. You can only do so much research on a mouse until it gets to the point where if it's approved, it's got to be tried on human beings. Medications and different things. So right now, nationwide, there are research studies happening. There are several research studies happening even here in the state of Texas. We have 2 scientists, researchers in San Antonio that we know of that are funded through the Alzheimer's Association. But here's the thing. You can put together this study, you can get it through the mice and the rats and the different things that they try it on, but they don't have enough human beings signing up for clinical trials. So the Alzheimer's Association came up with a program called Trial Match. And we kind of joke. It's not a dating service, like a matching service, but it is a matching service for our most important thing, which is research to find a cure and treatments and prevention. So basically, scientists put their clinical study in this database. Then the public, whether you have it in your family, you want your loved one to be enrolled, you are what we would consider a well volunteer, you have no signs of it whatsoever, you can put your basic information into the database and they'll match you with a clinical trial. Or they'll say, sorry, there's not one right now, but we'll keep your information for something in the future. So it's our way of connecting research with human beings so that we can get some treatments and medications, etc. So we do have information on our table about Trial Match. And again, it's a matching service for clinical trials. And clinical studies, that's what drives our progress towards a cure. That's how other diseases have been able to at least have a treatment or have a cure or have a way to prevent. Let's see, I feel like I've talked without taking a breath. So just a couple of things. This is our Trial Match postcard. If you're interested, we have these on the table. We do have a ton of information in Spanish. We've got basic brochures. We've got a lot of things now, even more so to be able to give in Spanish. And what we are thinking for next year when we do this conference, we'll do half a day in English, half a day in Spanish, so that we can get more members of the community, hopefully, to come out and be able to offer these things in Spanish. You've got the basics. This is our Medical Alert Safe Return brochure. Driving, this is our postcard about all kinds of different resources that we have related to the tough issue about driving. research. This is a newer brochure, and it talks about all the ways in which our organization is involved in research, from funding to engaging the public. It's got a lot of information in it, and so we want you to have that. Just FYI, we have our annual educational symposium in San Antonio on the 7th of November. Just FYI. And then I do want to wholeheartedly say thank you to Maria with TriSun, who is supporting this conference. Thank you very much. Denise with Villa Corpus Christi. Vanessa, she had to leave, but she had the table from the plaza at Mirador. Senior helpers. I want to say thank you, of course, to Texas A&M Health Science Center and Delia. Caring Senior Services, Daniel, thank you very, very, very much. I hope you have, did you win those flowers?
Yes.
Fantastic. And do you have someone to share them with?
My wife.
Yay! Oh, she's going to be so glad. I think we go a little crazy for fresh flowers. I'll speak for myself. I know I do. Most of us do. Most ladies. So Caring Senior Services, thank you. Sam's has donated a beautiful, I don't know if you've ever had a cake from Sam's, but they've donated a beautiful one for us today, which means with such a small crowd today, we've got plenty of cake for everyone to enjoy. The Area Agency on Aging, thank you for all of your continued support. The City of Corpus Christi, they are a huge support. And then Dr. Pradario and his face-to-face services. So again, could not do any of this without them. And while we continue having lunch and take a break, are there any questions that you all have about the Alzheimer's Association or those statistics that I can try to answer?
I just want to mention that you got 2 handouts after we did our presentation, and those 2 handouts that you all got were on caregiver resources and about the Alzheimer's Association, and we thank Ginny because she's part of the Texas Alzheimer's plan, and she was very instrumental in putting that together, and it's excellent information on those handouts. So
Thanks.
Thank you, Ginny.
Absolutely, thank you. I guess the main thing is we just don't want you to go alone in this. And if you know of anyone who's touched by this, I'll tell you, I do not go anywhere where the person to my left or my right isn't touched by Alzheimer's or a related dementia. I was in the restroom yesterday in this building setting up, and someone came in who didn't have anything to do with today's conference. She was here with Del Mar. And she said, "What are you guys all wearing purple for?" And I told her, and she said, "Oh yeah, I lost my grandfather to Alzheimer's." That happens to me on a daily basis. So many people are touched, and yet they don't know about resources that are available. So you guys are very, very helpful to us to be able to let people know that you don't have to go through this alone. Unfortunately, we don't have a magic wand that makes a lot of the difficulty of this go away, but we do. We have a lot of things that you can at least try using. So thank you very much, and thanks again to Mark and Joe who are here from the GEC, and make sure that we do these together and well. So thank you, thank you. And then, let's see. Okay, so Dr. Lozano, you are at 1:35, which means we've still got at least 10 or 15 more minutes. If you guys, let's have some cake. How about that? Okay. Sounds good. Yes, got it. Yes.
Arriba, por ti So you got